As I compared the two versions of the budget from the House and Senate, I was asking myself the same question as when we deliberated on the Senate's version of this budget. Is this a budget that will work for working Americans? Or is it a budget designed for powerful special interests and those best off in our society? Because you see, there's been a lot of rhetoric on both sides of the aisle about helping the middle class and fighting for workers. But a budget document puts down real numbers, real concepts, by which we can see if this just rhetoric or indeed is this a vision for expanding and strengthening the middle class. And so I'm sorely disappointed that neither the Senate nor the House budget meets the test of fighting to make this country work better for working Americans. And both the House and Senate budget, in a parallel fashion, are designed to help the powerful special interests and the best off. And so many sectors, so many parts of our community will be affected in a negative way with this vision. Our seniors will be either affected by the House version of a voucherizing Medicare or the Senate version of $400 billion in cuts. Our infrastructure is failed in both budgets. We have an infrastructure deficit. We have a highway trust fund running out of money. And both budgets fail to address this, to create good-paying jobs now and a strong economy in the future. This budget fails our children. It cuts Head Start on the House side through sequestration, and on the Senate side, sequestration plus additional cuts, perhaps as many as 620,000 children who would have had a seat in that Head Start class, would have had an opportunity to get a fair start in life, won't get that start. And it certainly fails our children when it comes to the doors of opportunity for higher education. Pell Grants are an essential component for our families that are struggling. Open those doors of opportunity for our children to higher education. And yet, here we have it, two budgets that slash Pell Grants. And this budget fails our hungry. The Senate side, we have unspecified cuts that most would estimate dramatically impact the SNAP program, and the House side was more detailed in specifying $125 billion in cuts for the hungry. And like my colleague from Wisconsin, I searched for those efforts to ask sacrifice of those best off in our economy. We all understand, Americans all understand, that programs for the best off are put into the tax code so as to be protected from year to year, not subject to an annual appropriations process, but they certainly can be identified in the budget process, and yet we see not a single dollar, not $1. So take the axe to the hungry and the seniors and the children and the consumers as well by trying to eviscerate the independence of the watchdog against predatory practices so common in the financial marketplace. Take the axe to all those, but not $1 asked of those who are best off or the powerful special interests with their programs deeply embedded in the tax code. When we went through the Senate budget, I gave it a failing grade for all these factors. And the House budget does no better. So we sit here as a conference committee. We have the choice of choosing or finding as common, let's see, how do I put it, the mid-distance between two failing visions, or actually engaging in a bipartisan conversation to address the significant education deficit in America, to address the significant infrastructure deficit in America, to address the significant inequality in America, to address the shortcoming in good-paying jobs in America. That is the path that we should take. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.